Welcome to One Man's Tracks, the second-hand music channel. Here today to talk about a trailblazing rock band whose special dynamic stylings played a pivotal role in the indie alternative genres, as well as continued to influence the greater music scene nearly 40 years since their inception. The Boston-based Pixies were formed in 1986 by guitarist Joey Santiago and frontman Charles Thompson IV, aka Black Francis. They'd be joined by bassist Kim Deal and drummer David Lovering, and they'd record some demos, quickly leading to a deal with 4AD of all labels, and that would lead to the release of their debut EP in 1987 titled Come On Pilgrim. Its intriguing punky rock blends provide a cool snapshot into this band's distinct yet diverse, sweet and spicy take on the genre, and it was one quickly embraced by a European audience with their raw, righteous, Albini-produced debut LP, Surfer Rosa, selling like hot cross buns across the pond. It's a consummate classic. Joey's gripping riffs, Francis's indignance, his surrealist lyricism, and his haunting, discordant harmonizing with Kim, all on top of Lovering's just punchy rhythms. It's ridiculous. This absolutely thrilling foursome delivered yet another certifiably timeless record to top off the 80s with Doolittle in 89. Sadly, though, it would lead to a brief hiatus period due to the tensions between Kim and Francis building up, and she would go off to release some of that creative energy that she felt was pent up by forming the Breeders and recording their debut album Pod. They'd relocate to LA and reconvene the very next year for a tense and trying recording session and somehow manage to craft yet another masterful, distinctly idiosyncratic record with this. The band's third full length, released in August of 1990, with Jill Norton returning as producer. It's Pixies Bossanova. These discordant geniuses bring their signature, unnailed downable style to the coast of California, bringing along with them their particular alternative spice to the beach. It is probably the Pixies' most summery and spacey project to date, so easygoing and freewheeling, but it also does still contain many moody moments of mysterious reflection alongside all those glistening anthemic outbursts. Its aloof observationism, dynamic range, and riff-driven tunes makes for 40 minutes of adventurous, radical music. It continues the band's pursuit of convention defying and convention shifting creative expressions. Now, from the bit of research that I did, listening to some interviews, reading some articles, they don't seem to go into the studio with much of a plan, but it does appear that they all came together and agreed on one thing to set the tone and start us all off with the instrumental surf rock vibes of a cover song called Cecilia Ann. A slightly more rambunctious and theatrical take on this surf tones tune, taking on a more whimsical, longing, and detached character and tonality that I think Francis in particular brings to this project. The second wave, however, comes crashing in hard with rock music's desperate, shrill, punky splash just hitting you in the chest. That blistering pain slammer gives way to the daydreamy Valoria, absolutely overflowing with adoration. It's a fantastical, touching piece that absolutely soars, and also seems like a pretty good name to have for a pet. Energetically, this tracklist seems to imitate waves going peacefully out and then coming crashing back down upon you. Valoria here being just the soft beginnings to a slew of feminine dedications. It's followed by the more bumpin' surf rock ballad Allison, bringing the energy up before you're then slammed by the creepin', catchy, new wavy progressions of Is She Weird's manic wonkiness, and then you go back to the beach to peacefully watch Anna. It's this glimmering, voyeuristic summertime cruiser. The center of the record contains a pair of personal favorites, a couple of reflective indie rock anthems by the names of All Over the World and Dig for Fire. Just undeniable jams with emotionally poignant choruses I can't get enough of. I love All Over the World's brooding interludes and just the immaculate formula they've laid out with the feel good existentialism of Dig for Fire. I feel like I've heard a ton of great songs that have jacked that particular blueprint. Down to the Well keeps this incredible streak going with its winding, doorsy, proto grunge passion, and I also really like the happenings driven, stomping, UFO spy thriller nature, but it does kind of go like most stories about alien encounters, ending up a bit meandery and ultimately unsatisfying. I do dig Blown Away's rootsier groove, but again, I don't find the conclusion here all that gratifying, but luckily it's short lived and we're hit with another moving ripper. This one's called Hang Wire, and it comes squealing in for one last cathartic blast before ending this record off with a couple of introspective mantra type songs, with the stumbling psychedelia of stormy weather begrudgingly building up in preparation for the inevitable oncoming deluge. And then I guess we made it through the storm because Javelina sees the skies open up, a light breeze blowing in as we sweetly sway along, as carefree and light as can be. Confident in their ability and chemistry, the Pixies add yet another timeless classic to their, at this point, immaculate catalog. Bossanova shows us a band with really nothing to prove that got together, set aside some personal grievances, and then rolled and grooved with the ebbs and flows and rode the many waves that came at them throughout the process. A fantastic assortment of tracks that adds up to an unflappable, ineffable record. The band would manage to set aside the creative differences for one more such project the very next year in 1991 with Trompe le Monde before this iteration of the Pixies would call it quits. This incredibly prolific era for them ushered in an unbelievably fresh new wave of alternative rock. I mean, how much does grunge owe these guys? They imbue their art with this wide ranging, moody grit that just hits with this intimate, genuine punch. A little over a decade later, they would reunite and tour on and off between '04 and 2013 when it was announced during the preparation to record their first LP in 20 years, Indie City, that Kim Deal had officially left the group. Her duties would be taken over by the Fall's Simon Archer for that record before being replaced by A Perfect Circle's Pas l'Enchantin for 3 album cycles between 2014 and 2024, after which she was replaced by Band of Skulls' Emma Richardson, who was playing on their latest release, The Night the Zombies Came. I do quite enjoy that newest offering from these mythical creatures. It might be one of my favorites from the new era of Pixies. I can't wait to check out the Breeders as I've heard so much good stuff, and all those Frank Black projects. I need some suggestions, some recommendations. Leave me some comments. I want to know your favorite Pixies album. I want to know your favorite band that was inspired by these guys. I'm always out there digging for more fire, so I appreciate any recommendations you throw my way. Here's a couple more I've got for you, and if you want to subscribe, please do, because I'm coming out with these as much as I can. Like the video if you're still here. Take all the best care, because there's a stormy weather coming, but we can make it all the way to Javelina if we just hold on tight and keep pushing. Hang wire! Hang wire!